28 years later, Primate, The Rip. January 2026 is swinging hard, and we haven't even hit Greenland or Silent Hill crawling back. These are the 10 biggest movies slashing through January. Primate is the surprise no one saw coming. A good horror movie about a rabid monkey going full Thanos. A college girl goes home to Hawaii, where the family's pet chimp catches rabies, and decides murder is the new black. Basically Cujo, with opposable thumbs and a serious grudge. Audiences loved it because it doesn't waste time. Once the chimpanzee snaps, it's straight into climate activist mode with zero emotional speeches. Every kill feels brutal but clean, like the movie knows exactly when to stop talking and start screaming. If this movie teaches you one thing, it's that curiosity killed the cat and the chimp killed everyone else. Forget survival horror. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is basically Glee for psychopaths. This movie has everything. Satanic tracksuit leaders, hallucinogenic musical numbers, and a zombie with equipment so generous it became an internet controversy. Voldemort plays a doctor trying to cure the rage virus using the soothing sounds of Iron Maiden in a dance number that makes the Joker look like a PBS documentary. Is it brutal and depressing? Absolutely. But this is zombie horror, not a Marvel after-credits scene. It's getting 5-star reviews for being pure chaos, proving that the only thing scary movies were missing was heavy metal therapy. The Rip is proof that money can't buy happiness, but at $100 million, it can just barely buy 2 hours of Netflix content. A group of cops finds a massive stash of drug money, and things go south faster than Ben Affleck's last attempt at marriage with Jennifer Lopez. Matt Damon spends the whole movie looking stressed, like he's calculating taxes on the stolen cash, and Affleck looks like he's one bad decision away from starting a podcast. It's basically Good Will Hunting meets Training Day, if it was directed by Netflix's algorithm and a protein shake. The Rip is ultimately macho middle-aged men yelling and best consumed with 4 beers, a Friday night movie you'll forget by Saturday morning. In the most accidentally hilarious timing ever, Greenland 2 Migration hit theaters the same week. Trump announced plans to acquire actual Greenland. The plot is basically Gerard Butler's walking simulator to France, because somebody said there's a magic Airbnb there, with clean air and probably free croissants. Critics are destroying the predictable plot that rips off Children of Men and 28 Days Later. Except those movies were actually good and didn't cost $90 million. Greenland 2 feels less like a movie and more like a paid DLC for the first one. Watch it if you enjoy end-of-the-world movies where the end already happened and boredom survived. And if you agree that Greenland 2 is the worst disaster since Amber Heard's legal team, hit subscribe so we can roast Greenland 3 deportation together. Mercy is basically a 90-minute argument with customer support. The perfect movie for anyone who thinks the legal system needs Fortnite graphics. Chris Pratt's on trial for murdering his wife and has to prove his innocence to an AI played by Rebecca Ferguson, which is especially funny for an Amazon movie warning us about evil surveillance. The film features shaky cam surveillance footage that's more dizzying than exciting. So if you wanted motion sickness while being bored, congratulations, you found your movie. The internet loves it because Hollywood fears AI as a scary overlord and not as a tool used to generate fake girlfriends with bigger personalities than real ones. It's also in IMAX and 3D, so you can experience a movie about how dangerous AI is, mostly to Chris Pratt's career. Next up is Send Help, where Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien crash land on an island. But instead of falling in love like a Hallmark movie, it turns into a kill or be killed corporate retreat. This is Lord of the Flies for millennials who can't start a fire without a YouTube tutorial and a 5G signal. Sam Raimi hasn't directed real horror since 2009, so he's making up for lost time by personally hurling bodily fluids at A-list actors, turning this into Evil Dead meets Survivor. The internet is already obsessed because McAdams is vibing while her boss is suffering, essentially a 90-minute payback fantasy for anyone who's ever had a performance review. So watch the most satisfying workplace revenge since Office Space and stay for the realization that you would absolutely eat your coworkers to survive. Remember Silent Hill? No? Perfect. Neither does the marketing for Return to Silent Hill. It's supposed to be a gritty descent into madness, but it mostly feels like a cologne commercial, where a handsome man wanders through fog, looking vaguely sad about his ex. It's basically The Notebook, if Rachel McAdams was replaced by a girl in a very shiny fake wig. They're hyping up the practical effects, but let's be honest, the creatures look less like manifestations of guilt and more like backup dancers from a Lady Gaga video. Return to Silent Hill is what happens when you film a horror movie entirely through a sad blue Instagram filter. Coming January 23rd. Next up is Shelter, the movie that proves Jason Statham doesn't read scripts. He's just on a lifelong mission to make every boring job look violently dangerous. Jason plays a bald-ass retired assassin, and in preparation for the role, he acted in every single movie he's ever featured in. He's a lone wolf on a beach until he interacts with a kid, and suddenly the movie plot becomes him versus bad guys in a house, while everyone else's plot is you versus the urge to leave theater. It's perfect if your ideal night is watching a human brick of testosterone solve every problem by punching it in the throat. Daisy Ridley's new zombie movie, We Bury the Dead, just achieved the impossible. It dropped 85% in its second weekend, one of the worst second-week drops in box office history. America nukes Tasmania, and Daisy acts her heart out searching for her dead husband, while the undead just stand around grinding their teeth. Let's just say, the force is not with this one. This is essentially Death Stranding, the movie, but with less budget and more crying. Basically, The Walking Sadness. Watch it if you need a cure for insomnia, or skip this funeral and save your money for 28 years later. So Markiplier finally went from screaming at video games to screaming in one. Oh my God! Welcome to Iron Lung. The YouTuber stars as a convict, trapped inside a metal coffin, sinking into an ocean of blood. Basically Saw with a high subscriber count and a world record of hemoglobin. Mark financed it himself, directed it himself, edited it in his bathroom, and literally went to the hospital because he got too much fake blood in his eyes. His fans sold out 2,500 theaters before anyone else even knew this existed, proving cult followings are more powerful than marketing budgets and common sense combined. Iron Lung is what happens when a YouTuber has too much disposable income. It's a Let's Play video that found a distributor. Next up, a few honorable mentions that nearly impregnated our top 10. People We Meet on Vacation drops this January on Netflix, because nothing screams romance like two idiots practicing friends with no benefits. Honestly, it's every chick flick ever. Opposites attract, they resist for no good reason, then suddenly realize they're in love and need to buy protection before the pharmacy closes. Sleepwalker follows a grieving artist haunted not just by nightmares, but by the creeping suspicion that the script left its brain back in 2024. Hayden Panettiere plays an extremely sleepy mom who can't tell dreams from reality, yet still drives a car and fights ghosts while unconscious, making her more productive asleep than I am fully awake. So, what's our troll pick of the month? 28 years later, because it's the only place you'll see the Dark Lord head banging to Iron Maiden. So subscribe and stick around. Netflix and Prime releases are coming next. Think of it as a public service announcement for your sanity. Check back next week for your weekly dose of movie madness, and as always, let's get watching.